¿Alguien?
Ya está.
Oh. Good. So, how are you? Everything okay? You already did your talks? Lucky you. Well, tired already? I'm gonna explain how to make yourself indispensable at your work. And this is more for developers, but I think you'll find interesting ideas for any kind of profession you have. Probably at the end, you'll like to buy me a drink or something. Just let's agree on some rules. There are easy rules. First one is I'm talking, you're listening. It's cool. You can talk too, but only if there is a number in here and you have an envelope with that number. Easy? Let's try it. Oh, yes, please. Yeah, but you have to open the envelope. Yep. Oh, why the envelopes? It's a good question. So I've run this talk multiple times, like in my mind, and I know that it works better if the audience is clever and they do the right questions. I'm not saying, well, yeah, I've been here all day, and really, I don't think you guys are. So for the sake of everyone, I just had the work to put it on envelopes so you can enjoy. Cool. So what are we talking about? So basically, you have a job and you want to keep it because interviews suck and I don't know, it's a lot of work. So the things I'm going to explain today are better if you start doing all them just on the beginning, but I mean, you should just start tomorrow doing that. So let's imagine it's your first week on your work, on your job. What you should do. The thing is, you're going to be evaluated for your productivity, right? Well, no. Well, the odds are nobody really knows what you are doing most of the time, and your bosses probably doesn't even know who you are. So it's not about how good or what good job you do, but the image you project. So, well, we'll agree that it's easier to project an image than to do real work. So everybody wins. All I'm gonna talk today is based on 3 key goals or 3 key principles. All your interaction at work should be with those 3 key goals on mind. The first one is to maximize entropy. And obviously here I'm talking about the right definition of entropy, which is the amount of chaos in a system, the disorder, how difficult it is having a particular bit of information to know how the rest of the system works. You need this to be big. So in a closed system, entropy tends to increase. This means that you have to put a conscious effort to keep the entropy contained or to decrease it. So please don't do that effort. So I'm against doing efforts at all, but if you have to do it, try to increase the entropy, please. The second one is keeping secrets. So you want to be seen like someone who knows the answers. If you share all the answers, so you have to keep things to yourself. That doesn't mean not talking to people. For example, a good tip is you have to talk to people. You can explain a lot of things, but never, never, never through a computer. So if you talk to someone by phone or on a room, it's okay. They are not going to remember what you just said. But if you go through a computer, everything is recorded. You're screwed. So you can be talkative, but keep secrets. The third one is increase fear. Fear, you know, when you're afraid of something, you do more mistakes, you're less productive, and well, why would that be like that? No, you have to increase fear in others, not in you. So if the others start being afraid of doing things, you'll look better. It's a simple principle, right? Okay, so with those three key points in mind, what kind of image should we project? What's our goal here? I don't know, any ideas? Yeah, whoa. The fearsome secret keeper of chaos. Something like this. No. It's similar, but something more like a leader, someone people like. Okay, let's just go for some best practices. There are just, I'm not going to show specifics here, but because you're clever people, you'll understand. You were not allowed to talk, by the way. Okay, first one is you have to write a lot of code. And that's good for multiple reasons. One is, if you write a lot of code, that means your name is on most of the code base. So people will start thinking that you're someone important in there. So it's important that you write a lot of code. Also, increasing the system itself, we increase the entropy. This is good. We want this. So write more code, not less code. Okay, an obvious way to do that is to duplicate code. So you have two places where, okay, we could, no, just duplicate it. It's the same, I know, it's just changing a variable, I know, just duplicate it. Well, there is a better way to do it, which is duplicate it, but with a minor change in that. Yeah, this not only increases the entropy of the system, but also makes people afraid. Because someone may have the temptation to refactor all your code and put it somewhere. But if your code has slightly changes here and there, it's not that easy, right? So who will do that? You're winning again. Okay, there is another tactic, which is mostly the opposite of what I just said, but also works. So have you been ever in a piece of code that seems to take all the arguments in the world and also has a lot of ifs, a lot of conditions, a lot of business logic inside? How do you feel then? You know where I'm going, right? So you have to write pieces of code in a way that everything seems an exception, and every change makes other parts to fail. Well, it's good. Failure is good. Not for your main goal. Okay. Big commits, big PRs. The basic principle here is the amount of information you put on a single person at a single time has to be so big that nobody really cares to review what you're doing. And it's basically impossible to follow your thoughts. That's keeping secrets, right? Only you knew what you were going to do with that code, or what was, well, maybe not even you, but this works better if you write big commits with little commit messages. Okay, you have to document. You have to document.
But it wouldn't be better not to document.
Yeah, okay, document seems like, okay, you are not keeping secrets, right? You're just showing the others what to do. Well, you can document, right? For example, if you keep your documentation as far as possible from the code, there is I don't know, it's easy that eventually the documentation doesn't reflect the actual code, right? That's a good way of documenting because people eventually will stop looking at the documentation at all. It'll be just rubbish, but you still get paid for doing it. Just today, I found out on Twitter that actually documentation hasn't to be that far from the code from this to happen. So that's some tweet I found today. I asked for permission, by the way. This is good, this is good. Don't do that. So, to do. This is such a powerful word. When you find the to do, you're thinking, okay, someone was here. He thought that maybe we should do this, but he didn't did it. So why? Should I do it? Is this still relevant? You know, this is what you want others to feel. And also, you can use to do as a defensive mechanism. Oh, this model is not working as it should be. Oh, yeah, but I put a to-do in there because we were in such a pressure, you know, but this is advanced techniques, I know, but you should learn from this. I've been listening all day about automating things. Don't do that. I mean, people make mistakes, and that's what you need. Also, bonus points if you don't automate things and you are in charge of deployment and this kind of things, and you keep in secret how to do it. You don't have to keep the whole process in secret, but just the relevant bits. That's enough. The good thing about not automating is also in systems, entropy will tend to increase. So you'll have multiple systems running by different ways. So everyone is going to be so afraid of touching anything that you will look like the confident one, that the one who knows what to do. Okay, tests. Again, yeah, everyone said you have to write tests. Actually, you can get fired not to write tests. So, well, okay, let's write tests. But we can do it in a way that they don't mean anything. So, for example, you can test what your underlying libraries are doing. This is a lot of code. Tests are code. So you're increasing the code base. It's also something that you want. It's doing nothing, but there are tests. Or you can, oh, it's brilliant. You can make tests that fail sometimes. For example, time dependent. And that if they fail, it doesn't mean that the code is failing. That's fantastic. Communication. Well, like I've said, you have to try to avoid communicate by others your intentions or the plans or whatever. But I don't know, if you were to choose a way to do that, and don't say commit messages because we already agreed that's a bad idea. What could you use? Email. Well, email is a good choice. I mean, if you can have conversations by email and send to a lot of people and cross threads, and also you can keep secrets in your inbox. This is good. But you know what's better? Try Slack. I know Slack is so much better because there are so much channels and you can make groups and you can start talking to people and nobody will really care if you said this or that and they can't throw this at you in the future. Well, like I said, you can write tests like this that mean nothing because we already talked about tests. Infoxication. If you are in a spot, and I suggest you try to put you in that spot, that you can manage the information that the systems are sending to your mates, please, 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 try to be verbose at all levels. You have to send emails for everything. You have to send emails for errors, for warnings, for everything is good. You don't have to do nothing. For I've run this, all the kinds of emails you can think about. Also, if you have tests that fail, just sometimes people will stop caring about the emails. And they will be so overwhelmed by the amount of information that eventually they'll stop looking at them. And here, because you are the one setting the policies, you can make your own inbox rules to just let the important ones warn you, and then you will be the proactive one, the one who's noticing the problems, and, well, maybe not fixing them, but telling other people to fix them. Important stuff. Yes, absolutely. You have to use them. Memes and look at how much time are you working here, Pablo? And he's been doing cut pictures all day, so. It's not me, it's science. I mean, memes are now more popular than Jesus. Well, those are just some principles you should have in your mind, but please, please, please be creative and share your own ways, because we all want the same here, right? The idea is at your job, with the minimal effort, you won't be seen like this, but you'll be seen like this. Thank you. Oh, you have an envelope. What does the envelope say?
Thank you. You changed my world. Let me buy you a beer.
Cool. Cheers.